The shamans have a very interesting kind of experience. They go through this transformation. They often experience what's called soul flight, as if they've gone to another world and they're flying through it. This is the origin. I mean, think of how we've come to this. But this is the origin of getting high. And the shaman does this. The shaman experiences themselves as if they're flying above the world. Why? Why would the brain generate that? Flying over things, getting an intuitive, insightful grasp. Flying over things, getting an intuitive, insightful grasp. They go through this transformation. They often experience what's called soul flight, flying over things, getting an intuitive, insightful grasp. Well, think about this. The shaman is getting a much more comprehensive grasp, more complex upon 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 more complex upon. They're experiencing it mostly intuitively and metaphorically. Where are you when you get a bigger picture of things? You're above them. How do we often explain this even to ourselves metaphorically? You have oversight. Somebody who is in charge of things has oversight. Flying over things, getting an intuitive, insightful grasp. Flying over things, getting an intuitive, insightful grasp. They go through this transformation. They often experience what's called soul flight, flying over things, getting an intuitive, insightful grasp. Where are you when you get a bigger picture of things? You're above them. Where are you?
I didn't think you scheduled Nechama. I thought you just saw I had put up that I was gonna stream, and then you were ordered to stream against me. That's what I thought happened.
When you get a bigger picture of things, you're above them. How do we often explain this even to ourselves metaphorically? Like flying over things, getting an intuitive, insightful grasp. Those are metaphors. Those are metaphors that are little whispers, little echoes of shamanic flight, as if they've gone to another world and they're flying through it. This is the origin. And think of how we've come to this. But this is the origin of getting high. Where are you when you get a bigger picture of things? You're above getting high. Instead of getting high, flying over things. The shaman experiences themselves as if they're flying above the world, but they're experiencing it mostly intuitively and metaphorically. See that? Oversight. You have oversight. Somebody who is in charge of things has oversight. You see that? You see that? Or has supervision. Supervision. You see that? You see that? You see that? Supervision of them. These are metaphors that are little whispers, little echoes of shamanic flight. Flying over things. Getting why? Why would the brain generate that? Getting a much more comprehensive grasp, more complex upon more complex upon more complex upon more complex upon. Why? Why would the brain generate that? Getting a much more comprehensive grasp, more complex upon more complex upon more complex upon more complex upon. They go through this transformation. They often experience what's called soul flight, more complex, flying over things, getting an intuitive, insightful grasp, flying over things, getting an intuitive, insightful grasp. They go through this transformation. They often experience what's called soul flight, flying over things, getting an intuitive, insightful grasp that is expressed metaphorically of a deeper connection to the world. were perhaps the first individuals to cultivate practices that took them to the uncanny. They were not liked by their communities generally. They're always suspected of doing nefarious things because they're uncanny. They're weird, even in their own community. They're odd people. That's what they're the ones that know, like the classic subject. Right? And I think the thing we need to know is that to me points to something even deeper that is I think, at the core of what's going on here in this discussion. And I keep referring to this book, How God Becomes Real by Lerman, who's one of the great anthropologists right now. And she talks about the reality of spirits and that they're not real in the two, like, so our culture, our standard modernity, we have the two ways in which things can be real. They can be subjectively real, they can be objectively real, and we don't know how the heck they go together, but we'll just pretend that's okay, right? And then what people like Heidegger and others have been pointing out is the older, basically, at least in ancient Greece, idea that what grounds the possibility that fitting together is the most real. And I tried to coin that term, the transjective. And Lerman basically argues.
You always talk about people's arguments, John. What about when people don't argue? What do they agree on? Let's get all that established and start from there. What? Okay, so what happened was I plugged these in after I started, and it thought, oh, he's plugging in a headset with a microphone. He'll probably want to use that microphone, but no, because most of my shit is half broken. So the microphone on this doesn't work, as demonstrated in that one stream. And so now you should be able to hear again. The story I told about this is it is a Dutch master. It's the brand my father smokes. I met him in my 30s, and it was strangely comfortable to meet somebody I'd never met before. I don't know. It was like being in the room with a cruder version of myself.
That a lot of the sacred phenomena are real in a way I would call transjective. And give me a second, because this ties into the very thing I think we want to talk about, which is these entities don't exist by our assertion as romantic or by our reception of them from the world smashing into us. Objective. Remember, object means to smash into. They exist.
Object means to smash into. This and other etymology discovered here on the Grim Grizz live streams. This particular one is not Anachino Spring, but that was a great name for the picture and what I told the AI slave bots to draw for the thumbnail. This is the LARP authoring program. It's like the self-authoring program, except you acknowledge that the self is a LARP.
This dialogically. Jesus even says that where two or three are gathered in my name, there I am also. There, right? This is the idea that these.
All right. Well then, if Jesus is going to say that, why don't we try gathering in his name and see if these virtually not alone gatherings count? But first, let's give everyone their savings throws against mind control. You get to choose between survival, social, wisdom, or heart. And if it's over 10, you take half damage from the rest of the mind control. Anybody who said the word mute in the last 20 minutes gets a +2. Ready, set, choose! Survivalists. That's a nat one. Doesn't matter if you say mute or not. Socialist, number of transformation, 11. Lovers of wisdom, a big old 4 for you. What's going on? And then Heart Folks with a 6. And Indigo friend. Oh, I guess I should show the Indigo Nat 20s, right? Because if I aim it just right, you can see the eye of the beholder in the die where it would normally say 20. It's not. The camera's about to die also. I had a lot of problems with that getting started.
These entities are realized, and I know these entities are realized dialogically, right? You know, Jesus is only, and again, I'm not making a metaphysical claim here, but Jesus is only real to you if you pray to him, if you talk to him.
Oh, Jesus, would you come be part of this? Oh, and hi, Chad. And you can't say Indigo. But congratulations on the Nat 20. So, to whom do I direct my questions about me? We have this current barrier that one has to be able to figure out that I use Google products as Grimgriz to decipher. See, the camera's dying. To decipher the email to send things to. But somebody did today, and we have now 4 people confirmed. And like Mo said he was, but he quit talking to me mysteriously. So, Magic in the house. You're not even supposed to smoke cigars, Anselman. Like you're not supposed to bring it into your lungs. I don't think. I think the tobacco is supposed to seep in from the mucous membranes of your. No, you just about the indigo thing. It's like the indigo thing is for resonance on the Discord, and it confuses the people who aren't on the Discord. So we don't. I mean, we mention it, but we don't explain it.
Him. If you let him into your life, your life. Even your evangelical and fundamentalist language may use that word. And by the way, this is not specific to Christianity. This is Larvin's point. So this is a different sense of real, and if you'll allow me, there's a transjective realness, and it's very, very important because the transjective realness that is approached dialogically, right, puts us on the horizon of intelligibility, and that's the place where we have to seriously play for transformation if we want to move from one world to another. That's the liminal zone. That's the roof of the cave, right? That place there. That's the cognitive roof of the cave. And what's happening in shamanism.
You're traveling through another dimension, a dimension of not only sound and vision, but that of a hive mind, a journey into a virtual land of both shadow and substance, a place where you can embody breaking the fourth wall, whose boundaries are only limited by one's imagination. Somewhere in between agency and a rabbit hole of saving throws, welcome to the Virtually Not Alone Zone.
I just sang that is the dream catcher of optimal grip while I was still muted. It was terribly unfortunate.
Right, is right that the monological view of the mind is being directly challenged because the shaman is basically they're in a dialogical identity with other entities, right, and theos, to be possessed by the god, right, and they're challenging our monological mind, they're challenging our monophasic. This goes towards Capella's question about, well, what's a normal and what's an altered state of consciousness. I agree with David Lewis Williams that we should stop thinking of it as a binary. It's a continuum, right? And what we have is a certain state, and I think the state that we call normal consciousness is exactly the.
That was weird how the song changed in the middle of this long conversation. Oh, all right. So this actual stream is about the other process that started. It was started in the Shadow Cabal stream the other day because I'm implementing one of these things called a paywall behind over on the Substack to get more people since I'm leaving Patreon and whatnot. And I told the stories in the stream. If you were there, you can see what's behind the paywall. And now I've cut and pasted them into this. And I was going to like see if people wanted to talk and BS as I went through this. And that was the whole plan. I think we'd need at least background music or something, though, for that. Right? Right? Right. By request. By request. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. Does this ever go out? I like to try and stop using substances, but the only way that ever happens is if I'm completely out of money and substances, which is the very complicated state of affairs. It does help. I don't know though, because like me, I have to look at all this. I have to fix the transcript, not only properly punctuated and all of that stuff. You guys probably don't want to watch any of that. So instead, anybody want to come on and BS for a while? We'll do that instead. Maybe I can do that while do this in the background while we talk, and I'll give other people a chance to say things. Okay, well, let's make it a little quieter though, eh? Let's do the number, disciple number. Let's make it disciple loud. No, wait, louder than disciples. Current year? Current year? Okay. Question, when and where is this camping trip again? Okay, well, let's look here. We go, no. Yeah. Good. There you go. Go here. Oh, I have to sign in every time. That's so wonderful. It's my favorite thing. But I am anyway, yeah, good. But view it. View the campaign. Share this tab instead. On this here site where we're giving people an opportunity to make us more comfortable at the campground. You can see that there is a link, if you read more, to the place we're going, and this is the where of it all. This Prado Regional Campground here is where it's happening. It's on 16700 South Euclid in Chino, and we've reserved from May 17th until May 22nd, the Mulberry spot for 30 of us. And so that's it. It's not really a camping thing so much as people coming to the Fancy Pants, Pastor Paul, Pajot, and Vervaeke event have a place that's cheap to stay. But since me and Chad are going to be there, it's kind of going to be probably a great time. A great time. All right, so no, nobody wants to talk to me. Come on everybody else's channel. No, you always come because you're so mean. Remember what you did to poor No Saves Nico? Yes. I do remember what I did to poor No Saves Nico. I almost didn't have savings throws on this episode because of that. I was like, no.
The one that is highly coordinated with what Taylor calls the buffered self, the monological self that is locked and closed within, and it's protected by a barrier of completely coherent propositions.
Oh, your propositions are so coherent. Yes. We might even have to pick up a guitar at the pawn shop, but we're going to form a 4-person or more band called the Signs and Wonders and perform. So Signs and Wonders will be performed at Anachino 23. Woo! All right, we're getting the good funds now. Thank you. Marshmallows and stuff. Yes, we will. Thank you very much. Very, very much.
That prevent any of this yucky stuff from getting into us in some ways. And the shaman is uncanny because it's in us deep enough, but it calls to us to the dialogical in some ways. And the shaman is uncanny because it's in us deep enough, but it calls to us to the dialogical. It calls us to the transjective horizon of intelligibility. It challenges the idea that there is one state of consciousness that gives us.
This whole notion of doing this stream where I went through and fixed all this stuff, and that would help me get it done in no small part, I promise. But it's also because of I wouldn't say it's hard for me to admire people, and I don't generally. However, I do admire people's work a lot. And one of the persons whose work I admire a lot is that of the Aaron Sorkin. I'm notable for the West Wing, and I think it's called Newsroom on the HBO, which is terribly influential on me. And I don't know how it was. I think it was somebody talking about him and his writing process. But I was informed that his writing process was to lay around on the floor and dictate what the scripts and stuff. Similarly, you now can write Substack articles by making videos and or live streams and then going to this part. Let me see, I can find you the part actually. Let's make this smaller and do this. We have a Stumpps on deck. I hope you're ready. I'm about to bring him up. First, we'll go here and then share this tab instead. Hey, welcome aboard, Stumpps. Thanks for being here. And you don't yet have the superpowers to highlight comments, but if you tell me to highlight one, I probably will.
I don't think I would be good at that. I'm technologically impaired.
Well, it's a single click, so I hope you're at least that. I mean, you've made it in here, so you did make it in here, so you're less impaired than many.
Figure it out.
Yeah. What's up in your world since you've last appeared?
I wanted to ask somebody a question. I keep pestering Paul with this question, and he won't answer me.
I want question.
Anachino, but I want to know if there will be things there that my kid can do.
Ooh,
because I want to bring my whole family. I want my wife get to see me badger Peugeot on stage, and but she can't do that if she has to be minding my kid while I'm doing that.
That's true. Will childcare be provided and or facilitated? The answer is that's outside of the scope of the event organizers I've met so far. However, we still have almost 3 full months. So I think we can make it happen, and that the current answer is you're on your own, pal. But that's to the extent I'm in charge of anything, it's making sure that there's a campground for people. Hey, Lynn.
Yeah. Well, I definitely didn't think that you were like the best person to ask about that, but you're the only person that will answer me. So.
Unless you hear otherwise, you're on your own, pal. I in the reservation for the campground at Prado Regional Park, we're dubbing the event Anachino 23. I've reserved the spots for 4 dogs also, because I thought that some people might like want to be there and not necessarily go to the event, and that those people should have a place too. So to the extent that we can put it together ourselves, we can facilitate you, but we're gonna have to, it'll be on us, or the non name brand people associated with the event. I suspect you might reach out to Van Donk, however, because he's more in charge of the event than Paul is.
That's right. And isn't that Van Donk's? Isn't that Van Donk's church that is like hosting? Is that right?
Well, it might be. I haven't done. I don't do dilettante work. I hope to recruit some dilettantes, but I just do pointers. I may have heard something similar. He does seem to be well connected with that particular church.
Yeah, fair enough.
Phlebas?
Maybe I'll send him.
Well, that's the next place I'd go, but I think my answer is as accurate as anyone else is going to have. I have the question of whether or not Pajot and Viveki are even going to pitch tickets, or if they're just acting like, you know what I mean? Because it feels more like they're not.
Yeah, I don't get that vibe. I think that they're just planning on showing up and having a talk and going home. I don't think they're pitching tickets.
Yeah, that's interesting to me, because they did for Thunder Bay, and now it's kind of a like it's either they're above it now or there's been a demotion now. So it's interesting to note the change in behavior.
I think it's just kind of off the radar.
The radars are much tuned to higher impact items now. Janice, you're not going to fly in from Australia? That's too bad. Lynn, an author is someone who writes. So who's writing what? And you want me to read what? You write your life with your choices. It doesn't have to be in spells and spelling to write. So, I mean, you're authoring yourself constantly by the choices you make. So maybe it's that you can read body language, maybe, Lynn. I don't know, voice tone. All right, Stumpps. Other things for discussion, or more on that, but help me here.
That's mostly what I wanted to ask you. I don't know. I'm still kind of playing with. I'm trying to figure out how I can be here and also see the comments.
You can't. There should be over on the right a place where it says private chat that you're in already. Yeah. Right over there should also be a comments. And now,
like I said, I'm not the person that you want here.
You're
I just wanted to ask a question.
Well, you're free to flee whenever you like, but you're welcome to stay if you like as well. It's probably worth hiring someone for child supervision.
See how I do.
It's probably worth hiring someone for child supervision for a couple hours for 1 or 2 days, at least during some of the main events. It's not too expensive. Well, too expensive is relative, and we're the low-cost camping option. So
yeah, I mean, I guess they could think of it as something that you have to hire somebody for, but I was thinking of it as just kind of like a volunteer, like somebody at the church would kind of do
that.
You know,
I suspect Van Donk would have a pretty easy time of finding and making arrangements if we need to, but To my knowledge, there's nothing currently been discussed and or planned. How's it going, Josh?
How's it going? I haven't ever talked to you, so you seemed like you wanted to openly chat, so I thought I'd hop on and see. I don't know much about you, man.
You say you haven't ever talked to me, but I remember you being on a stream the other day, so that's a very confusing statement.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, I've been in the same stream as you, but we haven't, me and you just talked or anything like that.
No, there is. I don't do very many private conversations.
Yeah, no. But yeah, no, just, yeah. Or I do have a question. What's the savings throws about?
Really? This deep into it? You've been on my streams without knowing what the savings throws are about? I
pop in on things. I'm not up to date on like hardly anything in this corner of the internet.
Well, I explain them every time I do them, and it's that they give you saves versus the mind control in the rest of the show and the rest of your day, because you're constantly swimming in a world of mind control, even if you map it only to persuasion and commercials. You're always being bombarded with people trying to influence your mind. And so as a reminder, I let people participate in a save against it. And then it helps them remember that it's out there and that the people are trying to influence them at all times.
Gotcha. Now, like, I kind of got that concept, but I felt like there was like, I wasn't around when it started or anything like that, or when you started it. And so I was just curious on like the history or what your reasoning was on it. But yeah, that's really cool. Gotcha. I played a little bit of Star Wars RPG in college, so seeing the D20 again was kind of cool.
They are platonic forms, the dice used in role-playing games. So that's neat.
Yeah, that is. I didn't know that.
Sacred geometry is fascinating.
What is it?
Sacred geometry.
Yeah, I've heard that term. I think I've even typed it in on YouTube a couple times. Couldn't really find, or I found a lot of stuff, but nothing that I could really coherently understand.
Let me see. Here's one that might cohere for folks. I like their presentation on it.
Okay.
General, how do you highlight a comment?
You have to have co-host powers, and nobody but Gavin. I think I even took his away. I have one slot for a co-host unless I upgrade the plan, and then I can give more than one person. But I have to grant the person powers, and it's
you don't need to give
hard
them
to
to
do
me.
online.
I was just like experimenting with it.
That's why it didn't work. Advertisements in the U.S. is an example of mind control. Correct. Here is this is a presentation on the here, share this tab. Put us down here.
Oh, okay.
Science will always push the limits of our understanding. Humanity is on a quest to expand our knowledge, to dig deeper, to look further, and to uncover the truth of reality. For generations, religious teachings once held to the belief that Earth was only a few thousand years old.
So that's the intro, but where's the cool part? Let's do Fibonacci first.
The golden ratio describes predictable patterns on everything from atoms to huge stars in the sky. The ratio is derived from something called the Fibonacci sequence, named after its Italian founder, Leonardo Fibonacci. In the sequence, each number is simply the sum of the two preceding numbers: 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, etc. This simple sequence produces an amazing proportion of 1.618, which is known by many other names: the golden ratio, the golden mean, phi, and the divine proportion, among others. So why is this number so important? Well, almost everything has dimensional properties that adhere to the ratio of 1.618, so it seems to have a fundamental function for the building blocks of nature.
All right, but the sacred geometry dice part is I saw it in here here it is.
and later Plato
Oh. That's my homeboy.
sphere. These shapes were studied in ancient times by the Egyptians, who passed the knowledge to the Greeks, where Pythagoras would study them, and later Plato, which is where we get the name Platonic. There are 5 Platonic solids: the cube, the tetrahedron, the octahedron, the isosahedron, and the pentagonal dodecahedron. Earth.
That's only a 12-sided die, that dodecahedron. This is the icosahedron of power. Nechama, hello, welcome.
Hi. Hello. Thought I'd join the party.
I like a party. Hey, look, it's alphabet.
Oh, now it's really a party.
Plato is not a solid, but it turns into one if neglected. Watch our count. This is one of the best chattings I've ever had, guys.
Night.
I'm sorry, General. I'm trying to figure out how to use this. I'm like clicking around trying to use this.
It's excellent. I'm glad you came on without an echo.
Can you?
I don't know if you can talk to them from in here from your position. I know I can, because I have a post-it comment down at the bottom of the comments, and I can go, yo, and if I'm broadcasting to 47 different streams,
fancy and special,
it'll go. But I don't know if you guys have the power to interact with the chat in that fashion.
I don't think so.
Unrestrained hedonism going on. This is a special event. It's the last of the tobacco in the house. So I'm about to face the Balrog, I think. I've been trying since Monday to go into total withdrawal, but I think I'm on the actual verge at this point. And then if I can ride it out, I will be free of so many demons.
So you're giving up smoking?
Giving up? Well, not. I'd like to have control over it, and I don't. So I don't know that I won't indulge once I do, but at this point, I remember way back when I first got addicted, the feeling of that first cigarette, the way it made my body all tingly and numb. And that was the dragon I chased until I was hooked. That was the bait of the hook. Oh. Who is who in these video boxes? Did I disable the thing that shows the thing? Let me see if I can turn that back on from here. I might be able to. I might not be able to. Setting. Maybe it's in settings. Guests. Band guest. No. Layouts. There's one person not allowed to come back, but I let him back in the chat, so there was mercy. There was a little mercy as well. Yeah, I'm much like Stumpps. I'm poking around trying to find the setting unsuccessfully.
And what did you say you were smoking today, Grim?
It's not just me.
This is a Dutch Master.
Dutch Master, gotcha. I'm a backwoods guy if I'm smoking a cigarette, or just a cheap cigar. Yeah.
Much like the what you call it, Pastor Paul, Dutch Master.
Dutch Master.
TRC. Oh, is it under? No.
He's a Dutch
yeah. I guess I have it turned off, and I don't need to turn it on. I don't need to. I can't figure out how to turn it on. We have Josh and Stumpps and Nechama in the boxes. You can figure out who's who. I hope. Stumpps is next to me. I'll give you that much of a clue, MJ.
Stumpps is training. He's doing his tech training currently.
So I was already
at it so far. So
well, the self-deprecation has gone on long enough.
You kind of have to suck at something before you get good at it, or at least decent.
You have to be willing to look like a fool trying if you actually want to learn it.
I started a stream earlier. It took me 3 minutes to figure out that I had to press start stream button so people could see me. And I was sitting there waiting, why can't I see my... So, Yeah.
Yeah, we ended up streaming against each other. I'm glad I got you to kill yours by visiting. That's
yeah, you just shut her down.
What'd you say, Josh?
Oh, he said like he just shut you down. he's like
no. Well, I could have stayed on, but I just felt like I felt like it would be the polite thing to defer, considering Grim does these on a regular basis, and mine was just impromptu. You know,
a Lambie. That's a new Lambie. If you stick around, you get a +2 to next stream saves. Never seen that name before.
Buffalo Bill.
Yes, it rubs. Yes, It's a pop cultural reference from a serial killer glorification film series.
Silence of the Lambs.
Red Dragon is so much better. So, do you see?
Oh yeah, no, Red Dragon, Ralph Finesse Ralph Finesse or something like that was the actor.
I think it's Fine.
Fine. Yeah, Fine. I love that movie. That was a great movie.
It was. I'm a big fan. The
Yeah.
transformation. That he was seeking transformation, and sort of everyone who ends up in the corner kind of is, maybe, or they might not know they are.
Well, if you're following, like if you, I don't know, that's how I ended up here. Is I fell down the Jordan Peterson rabbit hole and just ended up here, and I was like, it was really hard to orientate myself to figure out what you're talking about, what Paul's talking about, what like Jacob's talking about. It was very confusing. I was like, what the heck is everybody like? Because eventually, like especially with the Vervaeke stuff getting in there, Vervaeke is hard for me to understand anyways. And so people talking about Vervaeke was even like,
well, it was hard for them to understand. That's why they started talking about it.
Yeah, there you go.
But this stream and my ship in this flotilla of channels is not really for the regular normal human being.
Yeah, like, I've noticed that.
I'm not trying to have a huge YouTube channel, or I'm doing something different. I'm seeing what we can build on this playground with the people who can recognize it as a playground where we can build things. A lot of people are content to stay in consumption mode. You know, I'm just looking for something to put in my ear while I do my job. And to those people, there's plenty of options. But if you found your way here, we're trying to, we're seeing what's possible. And right now, it looks like what's possible is we end up making a camping trip. They give me control of camping lodgings for their fancy event. So who knows what's going on, but it comes and goes. Like people come in, people come out. It's coming together slowly, but like all this branding stuff, that's people building with me. I haven't produced any of this, but welcome to being virtually not alone. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. There is one of the main like, give me a hand sign when you're going to ASMR, because I don't want to be talking over it for the people who are into that.
Oh, sorry.
No, I meant that literally. Like, it was great. Fucking Eve. When camping, make sure your fire is out. Well, when you're done with it, remember, Embody. Remember, Embody.
There is no agency. We want
what's best. It's important to keep doing the branding. I can't explain the whys of it on the stream or at all, probably, but it's terribly important.
This has been deemed to be important.
It is.
Josh, how long have you been hanging out here in this flotilla area?
December, maybe November. I yeah, I'd been watching Paul for a little bit, and then learned about Grizz because he kept on referencing him, and I think talking about him. So I found Grizz's channel, and then I ended up on the Discord, and that just kind of chatted around in that, and tried to see who was working on projects, or like just, I don't know. Sometimes when you show up to an area and you're just looking to get involved, just figure out what projects are going on and see if there's somewhere you might fit in or something like that. I'm not really from any learned background or anything like that. I'm just a climbing arborist, but that's been doing tree work for like past 12 years and listening to a lot of Jordan Peterson in the past like 3-4 years, and Ben Paju, and eventually Paul and Vervaeke and all those guys. But yeah, no, just since December, and it's been kind of hit or miss. It's been kind of a weird winter for me. And then, oh yeah, I'm joining the Catholic Church too. So that was part of it. That was part of also why I started talking more with people in this little area. But yeah, and then that's coming up. So Easter, I think, yeah, Easter will be First Holy Communion and Confirmation for us. We did all our classes. So it's quite a process to join the Catholic Church through the program.
Catechism. Gotta catechize them all.
Gotta catechize them all, yeah. No, yeah, it's been really interesting though. But yeah, I listened to Jordan for quite a while, and then decided I should probably listen to his advice and Jonathan's advice. I was staying out of church. I was raised in a simple Bible church. Been a lifelong Christian, but this is different.
Yeah.
Orthodoxy is very, very different from what modern day Protestantism, I guess, or like any evangelical church or any Baptist church is going to be like. It's pretty crazy. lot different.
Okay, panel. That's what the people all on the screen with me are called, a panel. How many of you are familiar with Asbury? Because we have a question from Alphabet. Hey, Grizz, what's this Asbury thing?
Yeah, I've watched it a little bit. Yeah, it kind of, I don't know, it kind of looks like what I said. Maybe it's mean to say, but it seemed kind of like it was like a Woodstock thing, like just people just started showing up like in mass or something like that, and just doing like a continual worship service.
Well, Paul has put out at least 2 live streams on it. I didn't really watch this one, but
hey, this is Paul.
Apparently, somewhere in here, Bart's comment gets highlighted, and now he's leaving the corner. So I'm sort of curious where that happened, and I'll play a little bit. But as a basis for what is to answer the question directly, Alphabet, this Asbury thing is apparently an outpouring of the Holy Spirit into a form of revival at a college with a church in it. In a place named Asbury. An Upcycle Club is promoting Ben Shapiro in my chat, which is what? What was that, Adrian? Stumpps?
Do you know what started the Asbury thing? Like what happened that initiated this pilgrimage?
I read an article about a guy who did the sermon that was there before it broke out, and how the sermon ended in some part where he like cursed them with an itchy sweater. Like, I hope this conviction lays on you like an itchy sweater. And then a bunch of college kids went up there. And after about an hour and a half of praying after that, things started getting weird. And I don't know what that means.
They were able to take the itchy sweater off?
I think the Lord filled them with Benadryl. And the sweat, I don't know. The confession of sin, the prayer, and the singing, and it's
itchy sweater. It's like persistent, like when you get an itch and you have a cast. Maybe that's he was saying. I hope this is persistent. Did I read that?
Well, it's like you just can't get comfortable because of the way it sits on you.
Yeah.
His
priest convicted them.
And Benadryl's only for allergic reactions. I don't know why. I was just fishing. Also, oh my God, I need your take on Eric Weinstein on Rogan. Could have used saving stones for the alphabet. That you're just demonstrating that you don't actually watch my streams, because my take on Eric Weinstein and Rogan happened in my my New Jerusalem late night show. Which stream was that? I don't remember the official title of it, but it was like 2 days ago. It's the one that happened at night. If you want to go find it you can go to my channel and look up the live streams. I want to check out some of this Asbury stuff real quick, if as much as we can stomach it. This discussion here.
And it's on the mega church. I was pretty much set to see, a lot of cynicism, a lot of criticism, a lot of that. And I opened your book and I thought, this guy did his homework, because I've been around lots of different churches for a long time, and I see lots of different things in lots of different churches in the US and other places in the world. And it's usually there's good and bad, but I think if you look at the kind of metrics in terms of fruit, you can say, okay, UFO revivalism is not real big on my list. And you might say what you want about a lot of these mega churches. And I've been humbled.
And then follow it, if it's good.
Views, and it can be distractions, and it can be all those things. But then, okay, well, then let's just look at the fruit of it. Like, what is actually being produced? There are going to be people that walk away.
We can't hear you.
I was looking for Bart's comment, but I found Anselman's instead, and it was, why was God not really spoke of it in the discussion? It was all treated as a mere human communal phenomenon. Revival is a personal encounter with God. Well, that's the secret of the Blue Church. That's saying the quiet part out loud, Anselman. I don't think you're supposed to do that. Let's see if Asbury is still going on.
I think it is.
Oh,
Yeah,
let's see.
I think it's still rocking.
Streamed 1 day ago. Oh, that's the CBN News is streaming of it.
I know they called for it. I think a guy got up a few days ago and asked for it to basically start coming to an end, because it was the amount of people showing up was overwhelming the town or something like that.
Oh, God will provide. Quit doing Satan glory, people. Here, this guy posted it 15 minutes ago. Thanks, John Brideau. Okay, so Alphabet asks if it could spread.
Is it contagious?
It is worth wondering if this is contagious.
And my immediate thought is, okay, imagine you have a whole bunch of people in the woke religion who find out that instead of doing nothing with their lives except protesting and destroying the system, they can do nothing with their lives and worship God and sing and have a good time instead. So I think it's really aimed at the right target demographic. Yes, I do believe it could spread. I do believe it could. You want to watch some more?
Sure.
Let's go deeper in.
Looks cold.
There's old and young. All right. Were you just eavesdropping on those people?
This is a shofar. Can you just show the shofar for people to see? Hello, everyone. This is called a shofar. Yes. If you want to see, It is being used by the Israelis. Man, this is so beautiful to see. So amazing. Look at this. Wow.
Yeah, that's
Where
a
did
heck
you
of a
get this
shofar. Not what I expected there.
from? Indiana? It came from Israel. It's a real one, right? Yes. It's a,
Blow it, bro.
they have bigger horns. What kind of animal?
Is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do it?
Yeah, it's going to blow the shofar. Can you all hear me? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to blow a certain way here. I'm going to blow 3 different kinds of blows. The first blow is for alarm. Okay? You want to alarm the world, tell them we need to be ready, right? The second blow is repentance. Why do we need to repent? Because we need to get right with God. Okay? The third blow is calling in the glory. Because when you sound the alarm, you repent, and the glory comes in, right? So that's what these are.
Hey, we'll be right back after this message of branding.
The list? Yes, any of the first level ones.
I'm gonna get a soda. Anyone want one? Hey, Graham, I'm not in the room, right?
What room?
Right.
I want to cast magic missile.
The room where he's casting all these spells from.
He hasn't cast anything yet. I am though, if you'd listen. I'm casting magic missile. Why are you casting magic missile? There's nothing to attack here. I'm attacking the darkness.
The technologically impaired Stumpps has figured out how to remove himself from the active stream and return to the studio room. I don't know if he's aware that once he's back, he has to go to get let back on. So we might forgive him that this time. And now.
Repent! Repent!
Remember. There is no agency. We want
Oh, that's all of that. It's too much, Chad. Too much. I mean, it's like saves against that. I'd have to do every 20 seconds. It sounds like my boys' brigade bugle playing, and it looks a bit like a didgeridoo. Shofar's so good. Oh, Stumpps just made a full-on run for it now. She's out. So Nechama, Liska, isn't that pretty? But
do you have anything you want to say in conclusion?
It'll be interesting to see how it turns out as far as what actually comes from this experience that people had. If it dies out quickly, then I mean, I think that'll show a little bit of the fruit of what it yielded. I mean, for such a big event, did it just go off like a firework and then it's over, or is it going to have a lingering effect?
the same could be said of our little corner. Nechama, you're muted, but thanks for not the ASMR. All right, go again. What? Nope, you're still muted. All right. Well, do you want to sign language?
Okay.
Anything in conclusion? Okay. Here you go.
No, just a really good show for blowing. Very impressive. I most people can't blow it that well, so I was pleasantly surprised. Good job for that Southern gentleman.
Good
What
job
is that?
on the show for blowing. Hey, no, no, Josh. That was conclusion. Goodbye, guys. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for being here on this live stream. I am now going to force myself through that editing of the Substack. It was in the live stream. It's called Shadow Cabal Fast Break, and if you want to experience it behind the paywall that way, otherwise it'll be behind the Substack paywall. Special thanks to everybody in chat, especially those people I highlighted. They chased the high. Bye, Ben. Yeah, but the jumping up and down, you have to still be in the studio, Stumpps. I'm sorry. Sorry. Bye, everybody.